So now we have Julie with us, and Julie is a senior designer with Easylife Kitchens Table View in the Western Cape. Julie has been with them forever and a day. I think you started almost the same similar time where I started with the KSA, and you've gone the long haul. So my first question to you is, how did you decide that this was the career you were going to make your focal point in? What enticed you to say this is for me?
I think when I first started out designing, I looked at it and I went, oh, great, I get to make pretty pictures. Except it landed up being so much more. We started with looking at how different sites were operated, what you needed to do, the technical drawings, the whole different diversity in what you're actually doing every single day. I could never ever say I was ever bored. So I like that mental stimulation that keeps on kind of throwing curveballs at you. And that is why I think I've stuck with it. Just purely the atmosphere, the environment, the being out on sites, the watching something that you've started off creating from an idea from your client, and seeing it through to the very end and watching how that client is actually enamored with what you have done. Okay.
So Julie, I'm glad you actually started off by saying that you thought it was just making pretty pictures, and it wasn't, because I think that a lot of students get a bit frustrated with the KSA, because when we do the project with them, we say, we know it's not about just making a pretty picture. There are other very important aspects that you have to be able to do if you're wanting to go and get an internship or start working in the kitchen industry. So I'm glad that you reiterated that. It's a huge help. And so making a success of a career in the kitchen design industry is, what skill sets do you really think are fundamentally important for someone coming out of college or university?
You need to be able to visualize, first and foremost. You also need to be able to listen, because if you're not listening to what your clients' needs are, you're never going to be able to create what they want. It isn't just about what you're seeing, it's also about integrating everybody's different styles and ideas together. And but I think fundamentally with the kitchen industry, you've got to be able to diversify. You can't just sit and think, okay, right, I'm just going to do this design and I'm going to hand it over to somebody else. You can't do that. You've got to follow it through. So you continually are growing and getting new skills as you're going through it. So it isn't just the listening skill. It isn't just the sales skill. It isn't just the designing skill. It is everything all rolled up into one. Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's a little bit of an impression amongst college students that kitchen design is sort of the unsexy cousin of interior design, that it doesn't really earn much money, and it's a bit like the old lady with the baggy pants. It's rather than the girl in the gold lame bikini.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you can dispel that. Maybe just share with us some of the highlights that you've seen, and what kind of earning potential is it, that it has been an exciting journey for you?
So I think first starting out, because it's been a journey. It hasn't just been, right, I'm in the industry, I'm going to make money. It doesn't happen that way. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of extra hours, a lot of, being able to think out of the box. And any person that cannot do that will never be able to make it in this industry. But I think in terms of some of the big highlights for me have been some of those kitchens that I've seen on the sides of the ELK vans and in House and Home and Visi magazine, and in the adverts that ELK has used to actually promote our business. They've used my designs. They've used what I've created. And that to me has been absolutely amazing, to see that my vision is out there. Yeah, so there's lots that you can achieve.
And other than kitchens, what other things have you had to design other than just a kitchen? Because it's not you don't just do kitchens 24/7.
No. I've done TV units, I have done vanities, I have done anything at all that is related to cabinetry. I've done little girls' rooms. I've created a bed. So, you know, it's not just sitting over there and going, right, it's kitchens. How much more can you actually do? There is so much that you can do. The world's your oyster if you will only take it by its little shell and open it up and find your pearl.
Okay, so now we're going to ask Niele to go through one of your special projects with you. So we've set it up so you can share your screen, and
Okay.
look forward to seeing one of your special projects.
So there's a client of mine. It's actually her second kitchen that I'm busy doing now. And her brief to me when she came to me was, I want you to create my kitchen in such a way that it looks classic, but it's also got that ultra modern feel to it. So when we started out, I said, oh, okay, great. Can I do black? And she said, no, black's too heavy for me. So I said, okay, fine. Can we do one of the PG Bison colors, the Calipana? And she looked at it and she went, okay, let's try. And that was exactly what we landed up doing. But then we started to twist a little bit. So in the actual, we brought in the black frames with the reeded glass in the background. And then if you look underneath of here, all these panels over here.
Sorry, Julie, you just need to share your screen with us.
Oh, shoot. Where are we? Where?
So we can see all the awesomeness. All right, so what material did you use? End up using the Calipana in their
super matte, in the PG Bison super matte range.
Yeah.
And the Brook Hill Fusion is always a super favorite of mine, just because it is so diverse. It always looks good. And then, but what I've also done is underneath here, in the sort of in the recesses where your seating is, we have done a reeded paneling. So not your grooved panel, but an actual reeding. So it's a slightly more modern,
so it has a little
take.
Yeah.
So that was something. Oh,
is that also repeated in the glass? You have reeded glass as well?
Yes. So that's exactly why the reeded paneling on the under surfaces of the actual island itself is all of the glass detail has got your reeded glass in it.
All right, Julie. So this is the project that you're sharing.
Yes.
Was there a specific brief from the client in terms of the layout of the space?
She just wanted something that was practical and was very entertainment orientated, because they do a lot of entertaining.
Do you have a lot of countertop space, a large island where she can serve people from and on? They can have seating all around.
All the way around, yes. And it's not too close to the hob itself. So if she wants to cook, there's actually ample space for whomever is sitting behind her there, that they don't get affected by whatever she's cooking.
And it's interesting on these renders, you see those strip handles that you used. I'm assuming it's a Gola handle.
It is a Gola handle.
Really think about placement of the cupboard so that that line, especially on the drawers, runs through.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't do cupboard drawer, because you're going to have lines all over the show.
Yes, that you would definitely have. But it is, in order to keep your line, as you're saying, you've got to be very conscious as to what you're going to be seeing, and then double that up with functionality.
Yeah.
I was going to quickly jump in there, Niele, just saying that with the Gola, also what a lot of people don't realize is that you have to actually make your base carcasses deeper, so that they can still do a cutout for a hob or a sink, leaving enough tolerance to the front and the back so that the stone doesn't crack.
Yes.
And we even professional designers, when the Gola first came onto the market, we saw that mistake being made.
Yeah. So just here where my cursor is busy showing up, that over there we're doing pocket hinge doors. So that becomes their coffee station. so that at least whenever they are entertaining, nobody's going in behind where she's cooking. They're all just working in this space. So there was a lot of thought that was, just in terms of how they entertain.
And the storage is obviously it's focused more on the floor units. It's a very sort of modern look now to minimalize your wall units, if have any wall units at all, because your drawers are suitable for all those things that we used to put in wall units. All your crockery, cups, saucers, anything can go into a drawer.
Yes. Drawers are definitely a lot easier, especially whenever you are thinking about, as you get older, if you've ever had any sort of injuries and things like that, your body doesn't function as well as what it should when you're younger. So to be able to access things, it's a lot easier to work with drawers. And I think a lot of South Africans are starting to go towards the drawers rather than keeping the cupboards with just the shelf in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one that I'm quite excited to have finished and done. Yeah.
I like the fact I like the fact though that you're saying it's all PG Biosin product, it's all melamine. And I think we still in South Africa have this preconception that melamine is cheap and it's not sophisticated. And the fact that in Europe you can go to Eurocutchina and you will see a lot of the kitchens are made out of melamines or laminates. It is what is being used now, and it's not necessarily the move to veneer or to a painted finish. You can actually achieve that really high-end look using a more cost-effective material like a melamine.
Yes, you can. And I think a lot more people are going that way, and they're rather investing more in their hardware, their drawers, than what they are worrying about the front surfaces so much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Julie, just if you are looking and saying, okay, knowing the industry as you know it, if there are kids out there that are considering a career in kitchen design, what piece of advice would you have for them about preparing themselves and about being employable?
Be task orientated. Make sure that you are wanting to learn, because knowledge is your friend in this industry. The more you know, the more you understand how everything works, the better for you. And always be willing to listen to your client. If you at any point feel that you want to just go out there and just do your own thing and don't want to actually grow with whatever the times are doing, then maybe you need to relook at it and think, well, is this really for me? But honestly, they need to think about what is going on, what is happening, keeping abreast with what's out there, the new and latest trends. It is exciting. There's so much going on all the time, and not one client is the same. So they just need to be able to be amiable towards what is happening within their economic environment as well as in the design environment.
And if you had to do it all over again, is this still what you would choose to do?
I love every second of seeing my clients' faces when they walk in and they go, oh, it's exactly what I wanted. You hit the nail on the head. I'm happy.
I think that speaks everything, and definitely a little bit of inspiration for those that thought that kitchen design was not fulfilling or glamorous. Julie, thank you so much. Really appreciate you giving up your time for us today and for helping just maybe inspire a little bit of interest in kitchen design with the students.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
And you as well. Thank you. Bye.